But the amount of time people come to me and was like, I've got really oily skin, what do I do? And I tell them to go buy moisturizer and they look at me like I've just slapped their mum. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is India. I run British Beauty by India here on YouTube. If you are returning, I want to say I'm sorry. I don't know really what happened. I filmed this video. This is the second time I'm filming this video last week, and I was just not in the right mindset. Like, I was just so scatty and so all over the place. Like, when I came down to editing it, I didn't even bother. Like, the first so many words was just like, nope, not dealing with myself. So here we are again. So let's go straight in. So today's video is all about keeping acne and breakouts at bay. I am sorry I'm yet to find a cure, but you know we keep it moving. I'm sure it'll happen one day. So first up, we're going to talk about triggers and how to manage them and recognizing them for sure. I will also be talking about some pretty in-depth things like stress, diet, etc. So if you guys are here for like a quick fix video kind of thing, this is just not the video for you. We know acne is chronic and it affects people quite severely. So lifestyle change is something I think we all need to consider. Then I thought we could talk about some products afterwards. I didn't really want to do like products, but there are some things I'm just like, actually, you know what, is so important, and there's some things that just really work. So I was like, obviously I'm gonna have to talk about them. I'm not going to talk about prescription products though. That will come later. I've got something super exciting coming, so I kind of wanted to keep that separate. We know prescription is one of the main ways to control and to sometimes completely eradicate acne, so obviously I'm going to talk about that. Now before we get going, it's obviously really important to realise that I'm going to put a list actually here while I talk. Some of the triggers that I'm going to speak about today, I'm going to try to hit all of them. It's not going to be a trigger for you. I may miss something out that you're like, well, that's me in a nutshell, and you're not talking about it. It's because I try and speak from experience and experience only. I don't really like covering things that I really have no idea about, but it does not mean it doesn't exist, and definitely does not mean that it's not a trigger for you. So if you do have something, or if you want to expand on anything that I go on to kind of say that will help your triggers, to keep triggers at bay, please just comment down below, because I genuinely think sharing is caring and you could help someone out for real. Now I realize that hormones are at the top of the list, but that's so individual that I really don't feel comfortable speaking about that really, but I think it's 100% something that you guys need to be aware of, and I genuinely think it helps if you can pinpoint where in your hormonal cycle do breakouts happen. It's super cliche, especially as females, that we get it like the week prior to our periods. I know going down like the hormonal route is super tricky, but I really genuinely believe there are things out there. I'm currently doing the nutritional route, and we will speak about that later when it's kind of taken effect, because it's not something that's going to happen overnight. I wanted to speak about it because I want to kind of like implore you guys, go and work it out and see what there is out there for you, because I really believe there is, and I really believe that there's help available. So moving on to stress, again, this is another thing that's so personalized, but I cannot sit here and then not speak about it, because it's so freaking real. Especially skin picking is created by anxiety and stress, and it's like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you to meditate. I'm just, you know, I think when you go forward to handling your stress, this is a journey that's so important for you guys to do on your own. There's so much help out there as well, whether it comes to books, podcasts, like behavioral therapy, like speaking therapy. There are so many ways, but you have to do that for yourself. But I will sit here and tell you that I think it's so important for you to do that, for you to work out what your stress is, where it's coming from, because remember, stress like leads to stress. Like I can be stressed about something that's very validated, but then I can go out and like lose my shit with someone who's driving at like 25 miles an hour in front of me. That's what I'm talking about, like stress causes stress. Is very unnecessary, you know, and it's very harmful to you. It's very toxic. So no, I'm not going to tell you how to do it, but I am going to sit here and tell you that I think it's really important for you guys to get that under control, to find the root cause. Even bringing awareness to what triggers your stress can help monumentally. But when I say that you have to be conscious of stress, I mean that I feel like stress sometimes runs at like the back of your head, like it's so like it's in your subconscious. So you're kind of like walking around day to day thinking about all these things, but then there is this like angry stress monster in you, and you're not really listening, but of course you are. Of course you're taking it in. And that's when I say to be aware of it and to find it, I mean to acknowledge that kind of that stress monster. I don't know how good this analogy is, but you know what I mean, just acknowledge it, because then that's when you can take control over it. Because I feel like we have all these thoughts running through our head all the day, every day, boom, 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 boom. And we cause ourselves stress because we have these, like, this kind of like internal dialogue chatting utter shit. And yeah, I think sometimes you just need to be like, okay, I'm going to listen to you, right? And then I'm going to shut you down. Anyway, I'm going to stop on that matter because I feel like I'm just going to go boink, way off topic. Anyway, okay, so one of the main misconceptions about breakouts and acne is that your face is obviously dirty and it needs really good scrubbing. Now, that is just not true. Obviously, we know that technically, scientifically, acne and breakouts are caused by bacteria, but it does not mean your face is dirty. Okay, it does not mean you have to be rough with it. It's actually the direct opposite. Because of what happens with acne and breakouts, your skin gets super inflamed. So actually the worst thing you can do is inflame it even more, be rough with it, break it, create micro tears in the skin. Like, it's actually one of the worst things you can do. If you're kind of like just attacking your skin, rubbing and like exfoliating, all you're going to do is break the top of the spots and move the bacteria around your face. So it's, yeah, no. So the best thing I can always say when coming to looking after your skin is treat it with care, be gentle with it. It does not need to be stripped every day of oil, okay? Obviously, I understand that sebum and oil production is one of the main causes of acne and breakouts, but it does not mean that you need to dry it out. It just doesn't, okay? So treat it with care. So going along that lines, when it's coming to using products can massively trigger breakouts, especially if your skin doesn't like it. Remember also, it's a very real thing to purge on some. Salicylic acid, a lot of people purge on that, some people don't, but it's very real. The best way to kind of control that, especially when it comes to products and how your skin reacts, is to only introduce one product at a time. Now, by introducing one product at a time, you really can see what it's doing, see if it's working or not, and whether your skin is taking to it. Now, always bear in mind that it's a minimum of 6 weeks to really ever see a difference, especially when it comes to topical skincare. Now, makeup. I have such a love-hate relationship with makeup, clearly. Now, as much as makeup does not give you acne, it does not give you breakouts, it triggers it hugely, and that's because majority of makeup doesn't let your skin breathe. Now, if you have a serious trigger where they'll put a face of makeup on and then they will literally break out, there are options out there for you. I'll put a picture here of one and I'll link it also down below. There are options for specialized makeup out there. Obviously, it's an investment, okay, especially if you do the whole drugstore foundation route. You know, it's worth the investment. It'll save your skin, basically. Now, if you obviously don't get triggered that heavily with makeup, it's still very important for you to make sure you take all that makeup off. That makeup has to come off your face. Triple cleanse using gentle cleansers, micellar water, like whatever your jam is, just take it off. Okay, I use micellar water, then I use an oil-based balm, and then I use my cleanser because no, this is coming off my face. Trust me, through work, it is what I realised. If I do not make the effort to take my makeup off, my skin pays for it the next day. And I mean, literally, I will wake up with new breakouts. I don't feel like I should say this, but it's on my list. Never ever sleep in your makeup, okay? I do not care how fucked up you get. I do not care how tired you are. I just don't care. There's not an excuse for you not to just stand at your sink. Okay, I'm not asking you to do like a 12-step skin regime. I'm just asking you to take it off. Make sure it's off. Even if you have to sit there like drunk out of your head and wipe it with a freaking cotton wool pad, just get it off and then just pass out. Okay, cool. So that leads me on to dirty makeup brushes. Right, I cannot stress how important this is, okay? So clean your brushes. The bacteria on facial brushes is fucking disgusting, okay? Just wash it. So what I say is, when it comes to like face brushes and, for example, your like foundation sponge, wash that every time you use it, okay? Bacteria is real. Why are you putting bacteria on with your makeup? No. And then the rest of the brushes, wash every month. I know, it's so boring. For your skin's sake, it's so worth it. Now, dirty pillowcases. Change your pillowcase every 3rd day, okay? I don't care if you are OCD when it comes to matching duvet sets. Your skin is more important than a matching duvet set, so change it every 3rd day. Obviously, I'm going to say silk. I know a lot of people, though, don't like silk, so as long as it's, like, breathable, 100% cotton, whatever, if you want to go fancy, like Egyptian shit, go for it. Just whatever you do is just change it every 3 days, okay? If you do not do this and you implement some of these things that I say now, you will actually see a difference. That's how important they are. Okay, thank you. So, dirty hair. Now, this is actually one of my triggers. Now, obviously, it's very easy. Just wash your hair. Yeah, that's it. Work out what your maximum is. If you can go 4 days without seeing the spots on your forehead, then go 4 days and then wash it. People will have different maximums. Dirty hair is actually one of like the main triggers that I find that people are the least aware of. So pollution. Pollution is actually very, very real, especially if you live in a city centre. You need to use some form of anti-pollution skincare. Now, whether you go out and you buy one of the bottles that has like everything in it, it's up to you. But what I do actually say a lot of the time is that a lot of the anti-pollution ingredients will actually already be in your current skincare. It's disgusting. Like, have you ever walked around London, come home and like washed your hands? It is disgusting. Like, I haven't even touched anything. That's the air. Towels. I've always said the best way to do is actually just let your skin kind of like air dry. However, I know a lot of people do not have the time to sit there while their face dries. So I always say have a designated face towel. Please God almighty, do never ever use a hand towel on your face. I wouldn't even use my body towel on my face. I have like a separate hand towel that again I will wash every 3rd day. And that's it. No one's allowed to touch it. If I find someone using it on their hands, they'll get a bollocking and it will go in the wash straight away. It's not going on my face. And I know that sounds high maintenance, but the bacteria that's gathered on damp, wet towels. Anyway, last up, I have left the worst for the end. So dirty hands, dirty phone, and picking the skin is probably these 3 things are the worst things that you can do. Now obviously if you have like a chronic skin picking condition, which I do suffer from, I cut my nails, so you know, whatever you need to do to stop it. Cut your nails, wear gloves, I don't know, but I'm telling you now, it makes it worse. There's no two ways about it. It spreads the bacteria from one part of your face to the other. So yes, you will wake up with new breakouts in the morning. Obviously you scar your skin heavily. That's when you're going to get your dark spots and all things, and you're just going to basically add to the problem. So do not pick your skin. I don't care what you have to do, just do it. Obviously dirty hands is very real. We touch our face, apparently we touch our face unconsciously about up to 100 times a day. So just keep your, I genuinely just think you should keep your hands clean anyway. But if you don't, are not like an avid hand washer, unless you're like after the toilet, I don't know why I'm saying these things. Just continuously wash your hands, that's what I do. Dirty phone, oh my god, I think a lot of people are really unaware of this, or maybe they're aware of it now after, I don't think I should say that, but you know what I'm talking about, after all the stuff that we've just been through. I don't want to get like shadow banned on, I just don't even know what's going on platforms anymore when you say certain words. Just clean your phone. I antibacterialize my phone every day because the amount of stuff it goes through, do you know what I mean? Whether it's in pockets, my hands, my toddler's hands, it's just and then it goes on my face when I speak to someone. I have now taken like the conscious decision to be like, you know what, I'm not going to put my phone on my face anymore. And it actually dirties my phone anyway because of the makeup and stuff. It's really disgusting. But my main point is, really truly out of all of this, don't pick your skin. Is really truly the worst of the worst. Out of everything that I've just spoken about, that truly is the worst of the worst. Anyway, that is it. I'm not going to talk about them anymore because I feel like I'm so stressed. I really truly believe in these things. These are the things that I have found to be the most effective. Tiny little changes that can make the biggest difference, I promise you. Okay, so on to products, right? I'm not going to get any of my products because I can't be bothered. So I'm just going to literally scoot to the side and I'm just going to show you pictures. Because I spoke about cleansers, I feel like it is really important now to speak about cleansers. As I speak, obviously you're seeing pictures. These are like my favourite cleansers. Now cleansers are a tricky one because I always felt like there's no point in spending a lot of money on cleansers because they don't stay on your face long enough to really do anything. However, sometimes I think when you are super oily and you have a breakout, clarifying cleansers can be the most satisfying for you, but don't get too worked up about wanting it to kind of feel squeaky clean. You know, I think that's more for your benefit than like the skin's benefit. So it's very important for you to choose your cleanser wisely. I don't think you need to strip the skin every freaking day. So I think when it comes to everyday cleansers, a gentle cleanser, if you need a foaming cleanser, I need foaming. I can't do non-foaming cleansers. They're just something in my head doesn't allow it to think that I've washed my face. At the moment I'm using the Avene one. I've been using this for absolute years and I always keep going back to it because it is a clarifying cleanser, but it doesn't strip the skin, but it also leaves your skin feeling like it's been washed. Everything obviously I'll speak about will be down below. So next up, treatments. There is so many on the market. It's absolutely overwhelming. So I'm just going to speak about two that I 100% believe in, ride or die for everyone. And that is glycolic acid and salicylic acid. Now, you know I'm a ride or die, hardcore, love the Pixi Glow Tonic. I have just that. If you don't use glycolic acid, 100% start there. However, I have been using recently the Ordinary's 7% glycolic acid. Now, it's not that much of a jump up, but remember that Pixi Glow Tonic has soothing ingredients in it added. So there is that. The Ordinary's one is like pure glycolic acid. Yeah, like wham bam, thank you ma'am. And I love it. I love it. It's that kind of toner that I put on my face and I see a difference the next day. Now that's what I like, but it's also only 7%, so it's not like I've done like a mini chemical pill. Obviously, next up I'm going to talk about Paula's Choice. There's really not any salicylic acid treatment that I have not tried, because I just buy them out of absolute desperation in hopes that I find like the cure. But the one thing that I will always go back to and that I genuinely believe keeps whiteheads, blackheads and breakouts at bay is the Paula's Choice one. I just think it is by far the superior option on the market. Now, this is going to sound weird and I don't know if it's just me, but there's 3 consistencies available. So I personally like the toner the best. I have not yet tried the creams, and I won't try the cream, so I can't comment on that, but I have tried the gel. I actually didn't find it as effective as the toner. Now, whether it's because it's in a gel formulation and the gel doesn't penetrate the skin better, I do not know. Anyway, this is it. I think this is like one of the best things, okay, on the market to this day. Okay, so moving on to moisturizers. Moisturizers is such a personal thing, but the reason I'm going to mention it today is because I think it's such an important part of your skincare regime. Whether you think you need a moisturizer or not, I'm going to tell you now that you do. Okay, I know that's not what everyone wants to hear, but the amount of time people come to me and was like, I've got really oily skin, what do? And I tell them to go buy moisturizer and they look at me like I've just slapped their mum. But it's true. Okay, sometimes excess oil production is literally due to dehydrated skin, so you actually could be, obviously it's not always the case, but you could literally be the cause of your problems by not moisturizing your skin. My favorite moisturizer is the It Cosmetics. It has everything that I need in it. It's also not really got any actives in it, so I can mix it with all my actives, and it's moisturizing enough but not greasy enough that I could use it day and night and whatever. That's the kind of moisturizer I think everyone needs. I know it's not that simple. I find moisturizers like trying to find the perfect pair of jeans. It's just not that easy. There's so many moisturizers for all sorts of skin, for blah 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 blah. Just make sure, I personally don't think they should contain essential oils, but that's just a personal thing for me. I just think you should keep them more on the ceramide basic sense of the spectrum when it comes to breakouts and acne. Things like essential oils, strong scents, all these things. If you're treating your skin with, God only knows what you're treating it with, for acne, these things can just irritate your skin and it's unnecessary. I wanted to briefly talk about Bental Peroxide. Now, a lot of people love it, a lot of people really hate it. I find like it's like Marmite, especially when it comes to your skin's reaction to it. Some people's skin just cannot tolerate benzoyl peroxide, even though it is literally available on the shelves. Obviously, I'm talking about the one that's available here in the UK. It is the Acne Side brand. I'm a huge fan of the 5% gel. I do spot treatment things, and when I say spot treatment, I mean I'll whack it on a whole breakout. I have a whole video on benzoyl peroxide. I just think if you have yet to try it, it's 100% worth trying, but you also have to take into consideration that it is a very, very strong ingredient, and there's 100% like a rule book when it comes to benzoyl peroxide, so you have been warned. Please do not just whack it on your face and just like, I don't know, leave it. Moving on. So these last 2 products I wanted to speak about briefly, just because when it comes to having acne and breakout, obviously I'm just going to speak about myself. It's miserable, right? Am I right? It is freaking miserable, and I don't always want to look at myself in the mirror, but also like I have to go out, I have to face the world almost every day, but I also don't want to wear makeup every day. Like I need to leave my skin to be and to heal and to breathe. So one of the best things I have found, like truly, is the Dr. Jart's color correcting cream, and you can get it in the little tub, like the 15ml one, so you can try it out. Obviously it's not like full coverage, but it covers enough that you're happy with walking out of the door every day, you know, whether it's the supermarket or whatever. It just gives you that extra bit of, okay, I'm not gonna scare everyone. very soothing, very calming. Like, it feels like a skin treatment as well. I just love it. It gives me what I need without giving me the, you know, the shit that comes with wearing makeup every day. But when it comes to this, I mean, this is kind of just like a whack on just to keep yourself happy kind of thing. I don't think this is a makeup replacement. Now, the only downside to this is that even at my palest, which is now, I cannot use this on its own. Like, I look dead. I don't know what it is, because I see people on like TikTok and everything, and I'm like, you just put that on your face and you look really nice. And I'm like, how? Because I look like a walking, talking corpse. Like, for real. I don't know. Anyway, it does not go with my like skin tone at all. So I use the Drunk Elephant's anti-pollution drops. Now, I use these anyway because I think, you know, they're like my added on anti-pollution thing. I really love them. I think it gives such a lovely, lovely effect to the skin. But I do mix it in with those to give me some colour, give me some depth, and stop looking dead. I love it. It's definitely something to think about if you're like me, or you don't have to wear makeup every day, but you also don't want to just, you know, terrify everyone while you walk past them on the street. So like I said earlier, everything will be listed down below. I'm also going to just list the triggers down below, just in like bullet points. If you need the list, you've got the list. But that is it for today. I feel like that went much better than the last one. But I hope you did enjoy today's video. As always, if you have any questions or whatever, please comment down below. But also, more importantly, I think, if you have anything to expand on, anything that I've mentioned, you have a tip or a trick or whatever, comment down below. Sharing is caring. You could genuinely be helping someone out, including myself. Very important. I hope that wherever you guys are in the world, that you are managing. I feel like since 2019, literally since my daughter was born, all I have said is, what the actual fuck is going on? Like, that's all I say day in, day out at this point. But as always, I'm sending you guys lots of love wherever you are in the world, and I will see you guys in the next video.